the Contractor's Secret Weapon weekly podcast with your hosts, Dave Negri. This program is dedicated to helping contractors, remodelers, painters, roofers, roof cleaners, and business owners in the construction industry gain an unfair advantage over the competition. This program supplies you with information that the competition doesn't even know exists. This session brought to you by ContractorsSecretWeapon.com.
Hey, I just want to thank you for stopping by. It's Dave Negri here, and I just wanted to give you a little heads up on our Aaron Hendon today. I had him on the show, and he's a real estate agent, and he has some killer content, some awesome thoughts about growing your business, and that's why I had him on the show. But one of the things that really got me is we were talking about his referrals and the way he gets referrals, and he gets a 62% referral rate from his customers. So that's what this podcast is all about, is about how Aaron scales his business, and as a realtor, he has a business. It doesn't matter what he does, it's how he does it and how he attracts business and how he gets it done. So have a great listen, and we'll get into the interview right now. It's Dave Negri with Contractor's Secret Weapon, and today I have Aaron Hendon. And Aaron is a real estate agent from Seattle. He's won the Rising Star Award winner in Seattle, and that's a nice prestigious award that realtors win, and I think other businesses too. But he's a Seattle realtor. He's a real estate investor, author, educator, speaker, and he's a managing partner of Christine and Company. And Seattle Magazine awarded them the 5-star professional winning team for the past 5 years, and he won individually this year. So while most other realtors talk about performance in terms of the volume of homes they've sold, the number of transactions they've done, or learn on some sort of mysterious local neighborhood knowledge, Aaron looks at performance differently. And so I want to thank Aaron for being with us today. Aaron, I just want to thank you for being with us and talking about your success and your systems and your performance.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here, Dave. I really just appreciate the opportunity. You know, I love empowering people. I mean, my job really is essentially to empower people in the biggest transaction of their life. And, but to be able to talk to people that are also in the service industry and help them generate more business, and, it's just like-minded people. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thanks.
Well, thanks. I really appreciate that. And as I was going through your stuff, I noticed that, first of all, you're a Dan Kennedy guy, which I love all Dan Kennedy guys because I've followed Dan for, I feel like, hundreds of years, but not that long, but at least 20. And so when I saw the stuff that you use to attract clients, that I was really, I really like that. And of course, we talk about that all the time in this program. But what are some of the things that are really important to you that make your business really churn in your marketplace?
Well, a couple of things, So one thing is, the thing we were talking about earlier was before the started recording was just the book, and that book really, comes from. And again, I'm just gonna, lean on Dan Kennedy's words, because I just think that's, what works, and what works is give value, give value, give value, give value, give value, and people will come. And it's not even Dan Kennedy's words. It's, I don't know, Zig Ziglar, is that who it is? Like, if you want to make $1 million, find a way to help 1 million people make,
like
$1, whatever it is. Like, as long as you're helping people make money and helping people, it all turns out. So the book really came from a commitment that I had to educate people about something I thought was missing in their, the way they interacted, the way they interact with realtors. And, that's just very much where I come from. So everything I do is organized around how can I educate the consumer, and how can I put myself in the top of their mind when they think about real estate. Because I'm, contractors, painters, things like that. You guys have a, much more, more frequently used service. I'm good for once every 10 years with someone. So I need a lot of things to talk to people about
Right.
over the course of the 10 years. So I'm staying at the top of their mind. And, so I'm always looking for value to add. So that's the number one thing.
Well, that was the cool thing about the book, because I know that puts you immediately in your potential client's mind of the expert, because no one else in your market is probably doing that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, and this is from Dan, like, be radical, don't do what other people are doing, no one's, the book is Don't Get Fooled Again, the 7 questions you must ask to avoid an insider's guide to the 7 questions you must ask to avoid hiring the wrong real estate agent again. So there's just, there's all that pain in there. There's the pain avoidance mechanism, but there's also just standing out. Like, I will make sure that my clients interview other real estate agents. I'm not interested in being the only person they talk to. And that makes me stand out in their mind as someone who must be good, because I'm demanding that they talk to other people.
Right. Now, do you find a lot of them do, or they don't, or is it a mixed bag of nuts?
It's a mixed bag of nuts. I mean, one thing about it is, this is actually the subject of my second book. Most people won't interview a real estate agent at all.
No, I know.
And so, to get them to interview me and then get them to interview other people is like crazy making. So they don't. But just the fact that I'm offering it, just the fact that I'm talking to them about it, just the fact that I'm suggesting it,
right,
is enough to set me apart.
Right. And I know I've had times where people have asked me, well, do you have referrals? Or, a list of referrals. I said, do you want the good ones or the bad ones or both? And they'll go, what? Mm-hmm. I said, well, do you I've been in business 26 years, so, not everyone has been happy. Do you want some of the bad ones too? And they'll go, never mind. If you're willing to give me the bad ones, I'm not even going to ask you for any more referrals.
Nice.
I know it gets crazy sometimes, but there again, it's you're interacting with a potential client, and you're real. You're not trying to hide anything from them.
Right.
So I love the back of your book, and because I've seen a lot of free reports and I've written a bunch, but I'm really going to steal this, because the back of your book just basically ties up everything of the whole book. So it's like, oh. Here's, and there's actually, it's nice big letter, says, how to use this book to avoid hiring the wrong real estate agent again. Well, that could be how to use this book to avoid hiring the wrong painting contractor again, or the plumber again. It's perfect. It's a nice way to tie that all together, and I'm going to steal that, if that's all right.
That's fabulous. Yeah, please. And anyone, any of the listeners want it. I think it's dead on,
Yeah, and we'll put the link to the book in the show notes later on, guys. So it'll be there. So you talk about you focusing on performance because success leaves a track record. What are some of your performance standards? Let's put it that way, that you put out for yourself for your clients.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting question. All right, so I think I'd say my standards come from just the question I would ask myself if I was selling my house, what would I want?
Okay.
And so if you're selling your house, Dave, what do you want when you sell your house? What are your concerns? What do you really want out of the sale of your house?
Okay. What do I want? I want it. Yeah. I want to get the best price I can without being greedy. And I want it to go I want it to go through as quickly as possible. Those are my two priorities.
Yeah, perfect. So that's what we've set up as our performance standards. How and this is what was always interesting to me about, and really what sort of pushed me into writing the book in the first place. Was as a newer agent, because this is my 4th year, so why is anyone listening to me? Except I think I can bring new eyes to the situation, because when you talk to a realtor, you never hear them say, I sell homes for this much more than the next guy.
No. Yeah. The only thing, the biggest complaint I ever hear from homeowners is they tell me I got to reduce the price again.
Yeah. So but the realtor's not arguing for, hey, you list with me. The market right now is selling homes at this average, right, and I sell it for this average. And the market is taking this long to sell homes, and I take this long to sell homes. Realtors don't say that. And so we set as our standard, we're going to deliver to the customer the thing they want the most, which is the most money in the least amount of time with the least hassle. Right. And then we're going to show them statistics that prove that we do that.
So, yeah.
And that's our big value prop, is we'll sell your home for more money than average, and we will do it in less time, and we're going to do it with the least hassle to you.
Right, and I think in your in the beginning of the book, you even talk about how many transactions did your proposed whoever's trying to list your house do last year. So I think that's pretty important, because I don't know about where you are, but I know in Florida there's like more real estate agents than there are Starbucks.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
Yeah. So, and it's, most people sell, 3, 4, 5 houses a year on the high side, and I think you saw it's that. So that they make maybe $33,000? So that's really a part-time job. For a real estate agent,
Yeah, and I think there's a point of, you definitely want to know, does your agent have other job? How many deals do they do? And now, look, some people, and the other side of that coin is some realtors are just going to lean on, well, we did 100 deals last year. Okay, good. That's great. That means they're doing it full time. Fabulous. You took that one out. But that's all they say. And they use that as evidence for, well, that must mean I'm good. Not in real estate. That just means you were fast.
Yeah.
You were there first.
Yeah.
You got the client first, and now you own mind share, and lots of different things.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting to look at it from that standpoint. That they did 100 deals, but what did they make? But how did the ultimately, from what I'm hearing you saying, is that your ultimate goal is to keep your client happy so that they'll refer you.
Yes, that's absolutely the name. Our game, 62% of our business last year came from referrals or past clients.
Right. So if you give them what they want, or you over-deliver, or at least give them what they want, then they're ecstatic, and they're going to say, "Man, Aaron and his team did an awesome job," and they're going to tell everybody and their brother.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get now? What do you use? Do you have a system to create the referrals? I know that it's just not out of the gate, because I know if your business is successful, then you probably have a system in for getting referrals. It's not just a one-time thing.
Yeah, we've got a fairly extensive follow-up system that we've put in place. So we do everyone, if you're in our database, customer or not, right? So everyone gets certain things from us, whether you've done business with us or somehow we've obtained your contact information. You're going to get 2 educational videos from me a month.
Okay.
And then if you open the video or click on any of the links in the video, you're going to get a phone call with me, because I'll track whether or not you opened it or not. And that call isn't, hey, I know you opened my video. It's because that's creepy. But it's, hey, listen, I know you subscribe to my educational videos. I'm wondering, I send those out every couple times a month. And I was just curious, do you have any questions about the local market that I can answer for you? Because I know they're not just, I just have to be top of mind. And then they tell me if they have any questions. And then I say, all right, and do you know anyone, who do you know that I should know? Who do you know that's thinking about buying or selling right now?
I like that.
So that's that's one aspect of the system, right? That's automatic. I don't do anything about that. That just happens. The videos, I mean, I have to shoot the videos,
Sure.
and I have to, but so that goes out. Then they get a newsletter every quarter.
Okay. Paper
From us.
or email?
Paper.
Okay.
No, paper.
Okay.
And then everyone in the database, regardless if they open a video or not, gets 4 phone calls from me a year.
Wow.
And that's my top 150. You know, I consider myself the mayor of of Hindenburg. That's my name, right? Hendon.
Yeah.
So if you're like a past client or someone who's referred people to me in the past, you're part of Hindenburg. And people in Hindenburg get 4 calls with me a year, and everyone in that we do a customer appreciation party 4 times a year.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so, we just did a wine tasting here at the office.
Okay.
And we do a Christmas party. I think I'm going to talk my partner into getting us all to go to a Mariners game this year. So, like, we do stuff for our clients,
Yeah.
And what else? And then they all give us reviews online.
Sure.
We hound them until they will actually write us a review. And I literally do hound them until they give us a review online. Like, I won't stop calling you till you do the review online.
Do the review.
Yeah. Because I set them up when I set them up when we sign,
Yeah.
at the very beginning.
I expect this.
Yeah, what I say is, listen, you represent just the tip of the iceberg for me. I really do. How I get my business is you have to talk about it.
Right.
And so that means I have to do such a good job for you that I give you something to talk about. So during the transaction and after the transaction, I'm going to keep asking you, how am I doing? Am I doing a good enough job for you to talk about me? And who have you been talking about me with? No, what is missing? What would wow you? What could I do for you that would leave you talking about me? And we just ask them straight up.
That's awesome.
Like that.
No, I think that's a whole awesome thing because you just keep going because that's where you're all. You said 62% of your business comes from referrals, so that's a pretty high number. That's excellent because you go after it. It's a planned program. I think a lot of guys get into the process of. Matter of fact, I was talking to a real estate agent, one of my clients, the other day, not too long ago, probably about a month ago, we're sitting there talking, and I go, well, how's business? And he goes, he said, I would have thought that we would get more referrals. And I go, can I ask you a question? And he goes, what? I said, how many have you asked for? He goes, what do you mean? I said, there's nothing automatic, dude. I said, how many have you asked for? He goes, none. I said, then you got as many as you asked for. You're hitting a perfect record. Unfortunately, it's 0.
That's right. Yeah, it's it's true. It's really what there is for people to business owners to know is that no one does that. I mean, just look. I mean, how do you refer people? Do you just now? I actually do refer people all the time without the person asking me because it's my business. It's my job.
Right.
If I'm going to remain relevant over those 10 years, I better have something to talk to people about. So one of them is I want to set myself up as a resource.
Right. The go-to guy.
And that resource is, like a go-to guy. Like, look, I need a plumber. Great. Here's your plumber. So I do refer people. But other than that, I'm not like, unless someone's asking me to, I'm not.
Right. Yeah. So that leads me into the other question that I had about realtors, because a lot of our contractors, contractors, and they would love to do business with realtors. And while I've got you, I would like to know for our listening audience, what do you expect from a service provider in order to refer them to a trusted client? I know that's pretty powerful, but
yeah, I mean, one thing is for sure they need to get the job done. I mean, the number one thing is they need to make me look good when I refer them.
Right.
They need to call the person on time. They need to show up on time. They need to be, 5-star. We're 5-star realtors. They've got to be 5-star whatever they are. They just have to be available. They can't be, bad with people. I work with a lot of, I'm getting a roof done now, a chimney taken down,
Yeah.
for a client. The roof leaks, the chimney leaks. Great, we'll get it taken down. And getting them to call me back to schedule, to get me to schedule, to get them to schedule the roof being done is like, I'm not paying them, like they're doing me a favor or something. So, I'll wind up using them in this case.
Right,
but
never again.
They'd have to do such an outstanding job to refer them again. It would be unbelievable to me. So, returning my calls is sort of a big deal. Running a business like I would, like they care. Yeah, it's sort of a big deal.
Yeah.
That's like the number one thing. Frankly, I don't care about very much else. On one hand, if I give them a bunch of referrals, it would be great to get a referral back.
Right.
That would be great. But I don't count on, especially because, look, in my market, I could practically pay a contractor a retainer just so they were available when people call because they're in such high demand here.
Right.
So I may not be the best person for you because everyone's going to, unless they want to move to Seattle.
Right.
If your listeners want to move to Seattle, woohoo, lots of business here.
Let's face it.
But
There's
that's
lots
the
of
sort of
business everywhere, But I just don't think too many people look for it.
Yeah.
Because I know when I first started out, and I'm slowly phasing myself out. But what I used to do when I had would do business with realtors and they would give me their clients, I would always let them know that I called them. I would let them know what I did. I would let them know what they had done so that they could put it in their file for later on, when they get ready to sell their house. They knew that, the outside of the house got painted or, something got fixed. So it was ready. So it was just an open communication to make the realtor look good because I was an extension of them. I had to make them look good. It wasn't because it's really not my business. It's their business that I'm taking care of. Do you agree?
Yep. Totally, 100%.
Yeah.
If that's, Dave, I want you here. I just need more people like that. Because that's really what anyone who's going to refer you has got to be made to look good. You know, that's the number one thing.
Right. And I put together marketing programs for roofers in my area because I sell roof cleaning. Well, I don't sell roof cleaning; they sell roof cleaning for me. But on the back end, I do everything for them. I send a thank you letter.
Mm-hmm.
I send a guarantee. And when I'm there, it's not my customer; it's the roofing company's customer. So now I have two customers. I have that customer, and I have the roofing company because I want that relationship to stay good because what they're doing is building a bridge for future sales for new roofs. And I realize that as a business owner. It's not just I'm going out there to perform a service.
Right. That's great. That's just brilliant. That's really, really brilliant.
So, if we can get more contractors to think like, hey, it's not my business, it's the realtor's business that I'm taking care of. It's their client who can become my client, but ultimately it's yours first. So, and everything more comes in service, in servants. So, this has really been cool. There was something I was going to ask you. Oh, we did talk about the newsletter. So you do send out the newsletter. So these are all, guys, listen, these are all the things that help him become successful. And it's just a system. Like you have a system or don't have a system, however you want to put it. But, Aaron, this has really been awesome. So tell us how we can get a hold of you so these guys can download your free book. And then I'll put it on the webpage. Great.
Well, I think the easiest way to get a hold of me and get anything, the book itself is on don'tgetfooledagainbook.com.
Okay.
And that will, give anyone, they'll get on my email list. So they'll wind up getting communications from me, and they'll get all my contact information. Plus, they'll get a copy of my second book when it's ready to come out later this year, called Real Estate Blind Spots. Because one of the things I'm doing also, this is also a DK kind of thing, is position myself as an authority, and have a book is, this is a lead magnet. This is a guide. This is a handout. I printed it in big type so it would even reach 40 pages kind of thing. The next one is like a book with research and an editor, and it's gonna be a book. But I'd love to be able to get people to read it before it gets live, so that we get Amazon, whatever, 5-star, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So there's that, and that's the best way to get a hold of me. And I'd love to, anyone has any questions, I'm totally available. Love to help people.
Cool, that's awesome. It's been a real pleasure. I'd say stay warm. You're up in cold country, but spring is coming soon, isn't it?
It is coming soon.
Cool. Hey, this has been a pleasure, and I really appreciate you spending time to go over your success strategies with our listeners.
Great. Well, Dave, a real pleasure for me. Thank you.
Cool. So when this is ready,
Thanks for joining us for another weekly episode of the Contractor's Secret Weapon podcast with Dave Negri. We would love to hear your comments about this episode, so visit us online at www.contractorsecretweapon.com and let us hear your thoughts. If you were listening via iTunes, please leave us a positive review. The more positive reviews we receive, the more other contractors will benefit from this show. Thank you, and see you next time here on the Contractor's Secret Weapon podcast.